Joining us right now is former UK Parliament member John Browne. We want to talk about what effect these recent terrorist attacks will have on the election. John Browne, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Maria. Thank you for having me.
First, tell us your reaction to what has taken place and the sentiment right now on the ground in London.
Well, of course, it's of horror and revulsion are my main arguments or thoughts. And I think this, as Prime Minister May said, is enough's enough. And I think you're going to see, she's a person with great experience in the Home Office as Home Secretary. I think you're going to see a severe tightening up after the election. I think that you're going to see much more emphasis on tighter immigration, on more deportation of foreign radicals, and of control orders, tagging people, limiting association, and monitoring much more seriously, and in conjunction with internet companies, internet and social media content. And I think all those things...
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think all those things are going to see a general tightening up. I think you may even see the beginnings of profiling. And it's about time. Our politicians are really largely to blame, the sort of communist political correctness that has allowed mass immigration. The terrorists so far have no access to weapons of mass destruction, but they have used very effectively the weapon of mass immigration. And this is largely the responsibility of politicians.
Sure,
and they have allowed...
it's that open-door policy, right, John? I mean, you've had open borders, and why would you question how this happened? You've got borders wide open.
Absolutely. And in addition, they have favored Muslims before the law. You see statements written on placards in demonstrations that if they were done by English people, the person would be, and the organization, in jail and punished very severely for hate crimes.
Why?
But these people are favored on the
law. Why are
Muslims
favored?
Because the politicians are politically correct and bend over to this thing. And it's about time they were stiffened. And I think Theresa May is going to win the next election, maybe by a smaller majority than was forecast initially, but that she will be much more severe and things will get a lot tighter after the election.
Well, she's speaking that way, Steve Rogers.
Yes, Mr. Browne, you had a heroic police officer try to prevent those terrorists from killing more people. A question that I have for you, many Americans are curious about, do you foresee your entire police force being armed?
No, I don't personally, but I'm not an insider in the Home Office. I don't think so. I think it's been a wonderful thing, and even when I was in the military, we disarmed our soldiers in Cyprus under the United Nations. Only one rifle was carried in each vehicle, and it had a marked effect on reducing the weapon use in that part of Cyprus. And my battalion ended up with 3 battalion areas. It spread so fast. And I'm convinced that having unarmed police deters armed crime. That even with the terrorist and the criminal, there is a sort of sense of fair play that to shoot an unarmed man is not really any degree noble, even for a religious purpose. And so I hope it won't happen, but you obviously need some armed police, and there's going to be a lot of pressure to arm a lot more police than there are now. But I think the overall thing of having unarmed police has proved to be very good in the past, and I hope will be continued into the future. But you never know.
Mr. Browne, it seems like the people in these communities, like in London, are getting fed up with this. You know, you talk about political correctness, but it seems as if whatever your religion or whatever nationality your original background is, people are sick of all the killing out there. So hopefully that's going to be something to spearhead this push back against ISIS and radical Islamic terrorists.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. People are. And that hints again at the fact of unarmed police. People feel it's so grotesquely unfair to kill innocent civilians and, of course, innocent police who are trying to uphold the law. Actually, it's the politicians, not the people, that were doing the communist-style political correctness that's emasculated our armed forces, emasculated the police and our politicians. And I think the politicians now have to have a much firmer, stiffer back. And I think Theresa May will do that. I think she will win the election, and I think these attacks in Manchester and in London, the recent ones, will have an effect of increasing her possible majority.